Yo, the fuck is up, y'all? What's good? What's up? How's everybody doing, man? What up? What up, Eli? What up, RC? RC in the building for sure. What's up, Bruce? What's up, Bruce? Dude about to celebrate a Dollar Tree chip. You need a panel sometimes. I will come on. This shouldn't ultimately satisfy true, legitimate, diehard Knicks fan cravings. Hey, I do have a Discord I can open up a little bit later. A little bit later into the show if you guys want to just jump in and we can just talk shit. But I gotta do my victory lap first. Hey man, I hope everybody's doing all right, man. Welcome to another episode of the Jayson Estrera podcast, where we talk about basketball as accurate as possible, and kind of like what you guys have already been saying, right? It is the New York Knicks' first championship since like 1976, right? Or 1974, right? First chip. So we are the champions. We are the champions. I'm gonna take you guys through my whole roller coaster of emotions in just a second. If you're a Knicks fan and you're celebrating this, you should be ashamed. Hey, realistically, fans celebrate regular wins, right? Fans celebrate very regular wins, but it's not a championship day. Hey, we gonna get into that topic in just a little bit. We're not gonna get into it right away. We're not gonna get into it right away. We are gonna talk about another young gun. Bro, this is not a chip. This is a stimulus package for players not getting paid enough. We'll talk about it. I promise you guys. I promise you guys. I will not disappoint. But I do want to know what you guys think about Cooper Flagg. I don't know if you guys have watched him or the Dallas Mavericks as of late. I know only thing that ever has anything to do with Dallas, it seems like, is either Cooper Flagg or Klay Thompson and Meg Thee Stallion. Like that's the only that's the only thing that pops up are those topics. And so where's this? And so I think you and Stephen A, man. I got you guys in just 1 second. But what do you guys think of Cooper Flagg? Youngest player in NBA history to score 40 points in an NBA game. He did it in overtime against the Utah Jazz, and he got the 42 in 41 minutes of play. Shot 48% from the field, 25% from three, and 75% from the free throw line, where he took 20 free throws and made 15 of them. He also had 7 rebounds, 6 assists, a steal, and 2 blocks. PJ Washington added in 25. But they did lose. Because the Utah Jazz, not only do they have Lauri Markkanen, and we might be one of the few shows that actually talk about the Utah Jazz, one, but two, one of the few shows that brings up a name like Keontae George. Because I did it the last time. I think Lauri had 40. Keontae had 30. He had the back-to-back 30-point games. This team very quietly, right, talking about the Utah Jazz, very quietly has somehow gotten some talent, right? Ace Bailey they just drafted. Keontae George is really coming into his own this year. I don't know where that leaves Lauri Markkanen, if he's willing to be in a program developing these young guys, or if he wants to win now. His game is a lot more polished and I think ready to contribute to a winning team now than it has ever been. And so, with the rumors of AJ potentially landing in Utah in next year's draft, they could very quietly, almost like the Philadelphia 76ers, have a whole bunch of young guards. The San Antonio Spurs are another one, that are all young and hungry and very talented and very skilled. And so I wanted to just highlight, like I said, Lauri Markkanen, but really Keontae George. This guy is really good. This guy can really, really hoop. And to just make our way to circle back to the Dallas Mavericks, I think all of my criticisms of it's his team now, Flagg, yeah, I do believe that is the case. RC, I do believe that's the case. Bro, Jazz always do this, look good for a bit, and they come crashing down. Yeah, but that's the thing right now, RC. What I'm saying is, I don't. They're not a good team, right? That's why I said the bit about Lauri Markkanen potentially. He could want to be in a different scenario. His game is a lot more polished than it's ever been. His game looks good. But they have some young guys that are very talented individually, right? Ace Bailey, you could see it, right? You could see the moments of talent where you're like, oh shit, okay, he looks like a pro. He looks like he could score at a potentially high level. Ace Bailey on the pro level. Keontae George has shown flashes of that already, right? He's shown that. AJ, he would be the face of this team. Let's just call it what it is. If they were to get AJ in next year's draft, he would be the face of this team, which now puts into question how those other two younger players will handle it, right? Young guys that are also fighting for their spot in the league. And all of that and all of that really could be an issue. It could be good. It could be an issue. You got guys trying to solidify their spot in the league. And it could be a lot of I instead of a lot of we in that situation, right? So I think that's a very unique spot over there in Utah. I wanted my Wolves to draft Walter Clayton Jr., but they didn't. Don't we all have those stories, man? We all got those what if stories. But I think Cooper Flagg looks really promising. There's my only question right early on was how would he handle the physicality of the NBA, because he's been a very physical player, high school, college. He's been a very physical player. And so I was curious how he'd handle the physicality of the league. And I think he's adjusting very good. The critique that I had of putting him at point guard, right? And obviously this is why Jason Kidd is Jason Kidd. And this is why he's an NBA coach and I'm not. Because I think the plan wasn't for Cooper Flagg to become a point guard. Cooper Flagg's been a defensive player coming up. He's been a scoring wing / big, right? So his game is more of a wing big, right? And putting him at point guard put him in a position to now have to be in pick and rolls, have to look for his teammates, have to kind of dictate the pace of the game, which I don't think he really got the opportunity to do that much of before getting into the league. He did that in other ways, mainly with his defense, getting out on the floor with his defense, turning defense to offense. But being the guy bringing the ball up, running pick and rolls and doing all that, that just was not his role. And I think now it's unlocked this other part of his game that he didn't even know he had. Coupled that with the game that he already brought in, the super aggressive, trying to get downhill, I think it's all kind of worked out. And I think there's going to be a time where it's going to be really hard to keep this guy out of the paint. And he is pushing the basketball more so now than he was doing before, but just at his size to be able to play the way that he does. And we'll take a look at this in just 1 second. I think it really is a great sign for the future of Cooper Flagg. I think he's looked very good, and I think he will continue to look good. So let's take a look at this.
Boy, the crowd wasn't in their seats. They should have been. Well, he followed that shot up, and you get the
against the Jazz.
Short on that shot by Markin, and may have been tipped off the release. Here's Cooper Flagg, inside left hand drives,
and you could just see the way that his size is able to translate into the league. His jump shot will get better over time. I think his jump shot is solid already. It looks good. I like the flow of his jump shot. He has a good base to him. He has good balance from what it looks like. So I think all of that stuff will develop. His ability and the fact that he wants to get downhill and get to the rim, I think all of those things are going to work in his favor. Something I was talking about when it came to like a Paolo Banchero just Monday, right? We were talking about how he needs to get downhill with the basketball more, put a lot more pressure on the rim. And I think Cooper Flagg is showing signs of being able to do that. And I think it's due to him having those opportunities to play point guard early on in the season. But I did also want to highlight, where is this? I did want to highlight Keontae George because this guy this guy is nasty, bro. He can shoot the basketball. He's got a good handle. And he could just score in so many different ways. And I mean, we'll look at this right here.
In the first quarter. Belt high dribble, bounce out to Sengun, gets it back, shot clock at 10, rises up.
I mean, that's a taller Najee Marshall. He just dots his eyes.
For Keontae George. Can't be after that play.
Here's George. Runs through.
I mean, the way he's able to just split the defense right there. Hesitates just to freeze him.
George
splits right through.
Thought he was fouled. 10-1
a great feel for the game.
Utah in that category.
To score the basketball. He's been really, really good, man. He's been really, really good. So a player definitely to look out for in Keontae George. I really do believe that some of these teams, like the Sacramento Kings, like the Utah Jazz, they're the vessels for some of these players before they end up in really great winning situations. So let's really watch and see where some of these players go from the Kings, from the Utah Jazz. Some of these lower teams that have some really, really good talent. Because I think we're gonna see some of these guys have some really great team success once they end up in much better situations. So I don't know. We'll see. Maybe it'll be a Lauri Markkanen. Maybe it'll be a Zach LaVine. Maybe he could end up in a better situation. But this right here is really what the difference is with Lauri Markkanen's game.
Clock rolling up.
Really taking advantage of these situations. Being strong and finishing.
Talk about a battle for a...
On top of being able to put the basketball on the floor and hit shots from the outside, I think that's what's really taken his game to another level. Kings and Clippers are pitiful. I do agree. Those are some terrible organizations. Like organizations you do not want to end up at. Absolutely do not want to end up at those organizations. Here, let's get into the battle of the bigs out west, which was Nikola Jokic against Alperen Sengun, you know, Jokic and baby Jokic, which some people like to call it. And shit, did we have a battle? Like when you see these numbers, right? Sengun had 33, 10, and 10 to go with 2 steals and a block. Shot 51% from the field, 83.3% from 3. Jokic puts up 39 to go with 10 assists and 15 rebounds, 2 steals and a block, and ends up shooting 48.1% from the field, 55.6 from 3, and 72.7 from the line. And the Nuggets barely beat the Houston Rockets in overtime. And it's really funny seeing these two players, right? Because there are some very striking similarities between the two of them, whether it's a move, whether it's they're both slower because they're European, whatever it is that you think makes them similar. It's funny. I can't help but look for the differences, right? You know, Sengun, even though he's capable of triple doubles and he's very capable of getting 10 assists, almost like a point center like Jokic is, he's not quite, or at least he hasn't developed into that offensive hub that Jokic has really turned into over, you know, these 5 years or whatnot. And MVP after MVP. And which is impressive to say because Sengun is already averaging some unbelievable numbers on the year, right? So my dog's here. So it really is fun to watch the two of them, and then Jokic is obviously Jokic. I mean, it's really hard to explain how good Jokic is. It almost doesn't make sense sometimes how good he is. But we saw Battle of the Titans. And really 25 for KD, 33 for Sengun. Yeah, 39 for Jokic and 35 out of Jamal Murray. And if honestly, here's my bottom line when it comes to the Denver Nuggets, right? I really do believe they're going to go as far as Jamal Murray is going to go. If Jamal Murray is playing at a high clip, right? And we've seen him get to some insane levels of play. If he can play at a really high clip, because we've seen Jokic regardless of the situation, regardless of the team, whether the teams are playing for him, whether they're not playing for him. We've seen Jokic be Jokic, especially in the playoffs. And if Jamal Murray is right there beside him, that can guarantee you 27 to 30 a game, liable to go off for 50, which he is liable to go off for 50. One, it relieves a lot of pressure off of Jokic. But now it really opens the floor up for the Tim Hardaway Juniors, for, the Aaron Gordon when he comes back, for the Cam Johnson, for all of these guys to get easier buckets and easier shots. That it's not just Jokic, right? Someone else is creating gravity on the floor that drags defenders towards them. And so if Jamal Murray is able to play at that clip, because they won 7 games last playoffs, and I don't think they got a great series out of Murray. So if Murray's able to play at that clip, this Denver Nuggets team, I think, has a very good chance of making it out of the West. Honestly, regardless of what their record says by the end of the year, but they beat a good Houston Rockets team that's I'll be honest, I think it really is the Amen Thompson, that little experiment of trying to have him play point guard. And it doesn't work, one, because he can't do it in the fourth quarter, right? He doesn't have a great jump shot. You're gonna play drop coverage on him. It's gonna force the paint to get clogged up, and you're essentially just relying on jumpers from Kevin Durant. So, especially down the stretch, Amen Thompson, he either has to sit, which you're losing a great defender on the floor, so you obviously don't want to do that, or he sits at the dunker or sets picks. And especially in late game situations with Sengun and Kevin Durant, where they like to operate, Sengun likes the free throw line, the top of the key. KD likes the wings. Amen Thompson can sit opposite side to whatever Kevin Durant is operating on, right? If Kevin Durant's on the left wing, Amen Thompson can be in the right dunker. And then he could just pick a side if Sengun is starting from the middle of the floor, and then be a lob threat / a cutting threat. Because otherwise, if you're going to put him on the ball, they're going to rely on him to shoot jumpers. You can't put him in the corners. It's a puzzle that they're going to have to solve in Houston to make Amen Thompson a lot more of a threat down the stretch of games. But yeah, I don't know if a point guard really fixed that. I think he just got to fix his jumper. I think he really just got to fix his jumper. Now, all right. Here. Let me just get some water. How good is Cade Cunningham, y'all? I mean, this guy is really, really good. I think what we're seeing out of Cade Cunningham is extremely special. It's extremely special. Because, I mean, look at this game in particular, right? He had 32. The second most points on the team by any other player is 13. And on the other side, you had Jaylen Brown with 34 and Derek White had 31, and no one else was in double figures other than Peyton Pritchard, right? And Cade Cunningham, for not having another all-star on his team, just finds ways to win game in and game out. He had 9 in the fourth quarter of the Detroit Pistons 27. 4 of 7 from the field. And he was just hitting big shot after big shot down the stretch. I mean, this guy, Cade Cunningham, is really, really good. And I you know, we talk about these small markets all the time. And I really wonder if they'll be able to keep someone like him, or if they're going to end up losing him to a big market. Because honestly, when I watch Cade Cunningham, he has star potential to me. And it's really hard to be that in a market like Detroit. But this guy is really good. His 3 ball's gotten a lot better. His midi is good. He plays slow and methodical. He's just nice, man. Wemby suck. I'm on that. What's good, Elijah? What's good, Elijah? And we also, I got to give Jaylen Brown some credit also, man. This guy has been balling, right? Jason Tatum's out. A lot of people have been questioning him, including myself, and he's scoring on entire defenses also over there. Just going crazy. Just going crazy himself, right? His one-on-one game. You know, a lot of people talk about, one-on-one, who would win, da-da-da-da-da. I think his name needs to be brought up in that conversation a little bit more. Because he plays a lot more defense than a lot of them other guys. And he could score on them too. And he's showing right now, right? He's at almost 30 a game, that he can really go get buckets with the best of them. Without Tatum, with the opportunity, he's showing that he could really do that. So, you got to give a lot of credit to Jaylen Brown. He hooping. Jackie Moon is giving Wemby stupid bucks. I don't care. Oh my God. I guess we might as well just talk about it. Shit. All right. So this was Wemby's sentiments before this game. Before this NBA Cup game between the New York Knicks and the San Antonio Spurs.
Hey Vic, when you think about this New York Knicks squad, man, tough squad, one of the top starting fives in all the association. What's going to be one of the keys to winning that game?
Definitely matching the physicality, running the floor, and rebounding after guarding them in the half court. It's they don't play a brand of basketball as sophisticated as the Miami Heat or the Thunder, but like the physicality is top in the league, so it's a very tough team to play against.
You actually experience.
By the way, the sophisticated offense that the Miami Heat run is good for 14-12 in the season, compared to the 18-7 that my New York Knicks have. The Oklahoma City Thunder have a sophisticated offense. Yeah, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander gets 33. Everyone collapses, and we surround him with a bunch of shooters and another star player in Jalen Williams. Super sophisticated offenses over here. And what we did, the New York Knicks, right? What we did was proceed to bust that ass. That's what we did. We proceeded to bust that San Antonio French Wemby ass. We won this game 124 to 113. And I gotta say, I was very excited about this game. It was a lot of fun to watch. These games have been fun to watch. They're competitive. Guys are going after it. And, you know, it's fun to see competitive games of basketball. And, you know, with those comments out of Wemby, it was a flurry of Wemby points when I knew we had this game. Let's take a look at it.
The Knicks doing what they do, man. They're never out of it. They have that Knicks intensity.
Wembanyama out of this world.
It was a 5-point game.
And a takeaway by Champagny. Bridges tries to stick with him. Champagny, no. And it's caught by Castle. Wembanyama blanketing the rim. Castle.
Oh, great
for
screen.
Harper. Ooh. Rejected by Robinson. Right to Champagny. Wembanyama again. Oh. Yes, sir. A downtown hit.
Yeah, stop playing.
The extraterrestrial taking over. He's had 2 lob dunks and got a 3.
And I knew we had a really good chance of winning this game because he went on that 10 run spree, right? He went on that 10 spree. And by the end of the quarter, it was still a 5-point game. Right? He went on a 10 spree. We were down 5. By the end of the quarter, it was still 5. So that was when I knew we had a real shot of a real good shot of winning this game, because the reality about the San Antonio Spurs, other players on that team can go on a little run and have a flurry of their own. It will not get the same reaction that Wemby's does. So the fact that we were able to weather that storm, to me really showed that we were in a good spot, that we were in a really good spot. And I gotta admit, man, Dylan Harper played a hell of a game. But we just got some really, really great play out of some of these guys, man. Mitchell Robinson, Tyler Kolek, Jordan Clarkson, and OG Anunoby were the reasons why we won this basketball game. Tyler Kolek was able to relieve a little bit of pressure off of Jalen Brunson in terms of when it comes to being a primary ball handler. Clarkson can do that a little bit too, but he's really a spark to get buckets in spurts, and he did that. He did an amazing job of that in this game. Mitchell Robinson, between getting offensive rebounds during really crucial points and, you know, doing a solid job of just being a big body on Wemby, was unbelievable. And OG Anunoby shot the lights out of the basketball. Right? Shot the lights out of the basketball. Mitchell Robinson seemed to have a lot of success against Wemby. Yeah, he really did. He really, really did. I've seen Mitchell Robinson have some success against Joel Embiid. I've seen Mitchell Robinson have success against a lot of very good offensive players. So I was really happy about this win. I was at home singing "We Are the Champions" at the end of this game, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm seeing them celebrating and whatnot. But I knew, and you guys know this, I root for my team. I go hard for my team. I can be delusional for my team. But I'm also very real. And I gotta admit, when I think about this NBA Cup, this NBA Cup is nothing more than a Band-Aid. He barely played and his grandmother passed away. He was crying like a baby after the game. We are champions. Come on, man. Wembanyama was not in the game. That's very true. That's very true. It really was. His head was not in the game. So I commend him for playing. But the NBA Cup championship is nothing more than a Band-Aid. We saw it with the Milwaukee Bucks last year. It put a Band-Aid and gave a team hope that they'd be able to have that same championship level of play at the end of the season. The Lakers had the same thing in the previous year. It gave them hope. Neither of those teams made it out of the first round in those seasons. Neither one of them. So the NBA Cup is a massive Band-Aid on problems that teams already have. So when I think about my New York Knicks, there are some guarantees, in my opinion. Jalen Brunson will be Jalen Brunson in the playoffs, in any series. I think there are a lot of question marks. Mitchell Robinson was great, but we've seen Mitchell Robinson not have the ability to play in stretches because of injury, because of whatever. We've seen Karl Anthony Towns come and go during the playoffs. If his jump shot, if his three-point shot is not going in, he has the tough times. He has a tough time in games. If Jalen Brunson is not bringing the basketball up, if he can't do that, who's gonna do it? Now, Tyler Kolek looks really good. He's been looking really good. Is he going to be our TJ McConnell? Is he going to come in, be a pest on defense, be able to control the offense on the offensive side, control the ball? Is he going to be able to do that consistently? I don't know. I think Jordan Clarkson off the bench is a pretty guarantee when it comes to getting buckets. Josh Hart's ability to shoot comes and goes. OG Anunoby's health is a massive question mark. So do I believe that the New York Knicks have the ability to make it to a championship? Yeah, I really, really do. I think we've shown that last year. Not that they would win it, but they have the ability to get there, right? The potential is there. We're not talking about La La Land over here. OG Anunoby is great when he plays. Are we going to get that? Mikal Bridges was hurt, but we've also seen him come and go during the playoffs. There's a lot of question marks when it comes to this roster, and I fear, as a Knicks fan, that this is going to be another Band-Aid for a team that, I've said it before, if we have a path to upgrade, we need to do it. If there are players who we believe can produce at a high level for us, whether it's because we think the player is flat out better or we think that player will be available more, I think we do it. But with this Cup championship, I highly doubt that they will, and that's what I fear right now. All the reasons the Knicks won are issues the Spurs have had, though. It's not just because of Wemby being sad. He took really poor shots because, as he's been saying, he'd rather hang around the perimeter. I've been saying, no, that's facts. Giannis going to the Knicks soon. Sure, Eli. There's no competition in the NBA right now. No prime Cavs or Warriors. OKC winning a ring is like winning without Larry Bird, Isaiah Thomas, Magic Johnson playing. Yeah, but I think Shea could potentially be a face like that. Adam Silver. I think Shea could potentially fill that role. But yeah, I think the NBA definitely would have done a lot better had, let's say, the Knicks gotten into the finals last season, right? A big market like New York against an up-and-coming superstar player in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I can't be on live, but I'm not giving Wemby no excuses. I've seen him do that before. If you're injured or need a day, that's fine. Take it. But if you decide to play, to look for excuses if you don't do well, NBA is in trouble. The Cup was created to fight against load management, and no one was interested in the NBA Cup. I will say I did see a lot of people talking up this NBA Cup. I saw a lot of people talking it up. Oh, this is... And I'm not gonna lie, the games were good. Don't get me wrong, the games really were good. But I really don't believe it's meaningful in the long run, because the whole point of the NBA, right? They talk about it every year. The jump for college players to go from college to NBA. The NBA is a marathon compared to college. The 82 games, the traveling, everything. A part of being a champion is, as a team, your ability to manage that. Injuries, personalities, people's moods, all of that is a part of it. To win something so early in the season is pretty meaningless. And I did celebrate this championship, this NBA Cup win, a little bit, but I also came to this realization, so I'm not completely delusional, y'all. SJ's Brussels sprouts only in OKC and Canada. They care about him. Preach, Elijah. I give this cup one more year and it will be canceled. I mean, it was pretty packed in there. It was pretty packed in there. I will say too. Where is this fool? Listen, I don't know what this is all about, y'all, but this nasty work, Josh Hart. This is nasty work. Nasty work, Josh Hart. Josh Hart, what are we doing? What type of friends are we? Josh Hart. Josh Hart. He said it was AI. He said it was AI. I'm inclined to believe him. Bro, a trophy is a trophy is a trophy. Obviously, it's not the finals, but don't let people say you aren't allowed to be happy. LMAO, winning is always fun, no matter what. So losing a grandmother is the same as a personal injury. Hard trying to Diddy, Brunson, SMH. I do agree with you though, Bruce. Losing a grandmother is massive, right? I don't think he was looking for an excuse, Elijah. I think that would mean that you think his tears were fake, and I don't think they were fake. I think he just could not hold it anymore after holding it back during that entire game, right? Trying to focus, trying to be in the moment, trying to be a good teammate. I will say, though, the reason this game was good, in my opinion, or the reason it was close, I should say, Wemby had a solid game, but I think, again, the guards for the San Antonio Spurs, those guys are really, really good. I mean, let's put it this way. Not only do you have Castle, you have Vassell, you have Harper, and then I swear I sometimes forget that they have De'Aaron Fox. Like, are these guys cheating in San Antonio? You got back-to-back Rookie of the Years. You got Dylan Harper. You have De'Aaron Fox somehow. I mean, like, what the fuck is going on over here in San Antonio? Those guys are really, really good. We're all obviously empathetic for what he was going through. That's heavy stuff. I'm just saying, I've seen the same issues he had in that game repeatedly. It wasn't just a one-off. Yeah. No, but see, but what you're saying, Eli, is his bad play had nothing to do with his grandmother. I think you're kind of proving the point. Like, I don't think he's trying to have a cop out. I don't think he's trying to find an excuse. I think he just had a bad game. He just didn't have a good game. He had a great game last game. Just didn't have a good game this game. They couldn't buy a three at the end of the game. Every open three they were missing as a team, not just Wemby. And, all of that led to Josh Hart putting his thumb in fucking Jalen Brunson's butt. And us having this NBA Cup win, which again, like, there's games tonight. It's very hard for this to feel like a real championship. I am very happy with the report from Shams that the Knicks will not raise an NBA Cup championship banner at Madison Square Garden. Unlike the Lakers and the Bucks, who both raised banners for the NBA Cup. So I am very, very happy about that news for the New York Knicks. Job's not finished. We got a whole season left. like an entire season left. Right? Which means for our team in particular, you got to manage Mitchell Robinson. You got to manage OG, who's gotten hurt. Jalen Brunson has had ankle injuries going into the playoffs. I swear the last 2 years. Josh Hart ended up getting hurt in the playoffs last year and at the playoffs the year before that. So we really got to manage our health. OG Anunoby is in and out of the lineup constantly. Like I said, there's a lot of question marks, and this really feels like a Band-Aid is getting put on some real serious issues that we have, right? I never questioned whether or not we could beat any team in the league. I know last year there was that whole narrative because we hadn't beaten the top 4 team all year. But genuinely, in one game, I do not question whether or not the Knicks can beat any team in the NBA. That's not what the playoffs is, unfortunately. Like the in-season tournament, the cup, all of that stuff is great. And honestly, I kind of hated how after they get Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart on and they keep asking questions. Oh, well, how do you think this will help you guys out for later in the year? How do you guys think you'll carry this for the end of the year? Does this give you guys confidence for the end of the year? All these dumbass questions. Because as intense and as competitive as these games have been, they don't simulate the NBA playoffs. It doesn't simulate the fact that you played last night, you have tonight, and then you play them tomorrow after you've only prepped for that team. And then you have 2 games in between switching cities, and you're only playing that team for the next 2 weeks. Your every thought, your every decision is all based on that team for 2 weeks. There's no way for them to replicate that with this in-season tournament. or with the cup, whatever you want to call it. So, that is a massive question mark to me, question mark for me, along with all the other questions that I have. But I do think we have a very talented team, which is why I would love for us to make a move if we have a real path to upgrade, whether it be a OG Anunoby because of his health, whether it's a Mikal Bridges if we think we have an upgrade in that, or so on and so forth. But I really do like this roster that we have. But some things you just can't. Something is hard to predict, man, especially when it comes to this stuff. But let's see what games we got going on tonight. We got 2 games tonight. The Wolves, the Grizzlies at Minnesota. Excuse me, and Cleveland is in Chicago. 30-31 right now. Grizzlies are up 34-33. Cleveland is up on Chicago. So that's gonna do it for me for now, man. I really appreciate you guys as always for coming in and hanging out. Thank you guys for letting me do some therapy, because that's some real therapy right there for me to get that convo off again, with my New York Knicks. But thank you guys so much as always. Eli, thank you. RC, I appreciate you. Bruce, you're the GOAT also. I appreciate you so much. Elijah, I know you were in here for a little bit. Thank you so much. Adam Silver, I appreciate you for popping in here. But thank you guys so much, man. Y'all are all the GOATs. If you have not done so, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you have not done that already. Thank you guys so much. I will see you here on Friday. Y'all could have been anywhere on the internet, but y'all were here with me, and I appreciate y'all for that. So thank you so much. I'll see y'all later. Y'all have a great rest of y'all night, man. Peace. Fun as always, fam. I appreciate you, man. That's love. I appreciate you. I'll see y'all later, man. Y'all have a great rest of y'all day. Have a great Thursday. Peace out.